It's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Have one of the funnest possible songs that we could do today. Literally, probably the first ever thrash metal song. It is going to be Stone Cold Crazy by the Great Queen. All right, so this one is fast, and this one is fun to do as well. So we're going to go all the way through this. This is off their 74 album, Sheer Heart Attack. It's a short track, but it's got a lot going on, a couple solos. So let's have some fun with it. Standard tuning here. Before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little notification bell so you know when I release a new video. Hopefully that works. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. And check out my Guitar Academy at GuitarLessons365.com. Got a great community over there already, and I hope you'll join us. And check out my merchandise store, link in this description, and you'll be able to get cool designs like this, which is only available in my store. All right, so let's get going on this thing. That opening riff, it's kind of a challenge, but it's a lot of fun, and it's usually played slightly wrong from what I usually see. Now, it's extremely not very noticeable anyway if you're playing this up to full speed, but I obsess about this stuff. I don't know why. I don't know why I do. It's just kind of part of the nightmare that is my life when it comes to like transcribing music. So this opening riff has a note in there that maybe people mostly miss, and you have to slow it down to about 15% of the tempo and to really isolate it to hear what's going on. So let's go through it though. So we're going to start with a hammer-on from, I'm sorry, let's not skip the intro because I was about to. Harmonic at the 7th fret there on the low E string. Slight little bar dives there, and then we launch into the riff. So I didn't forget it, don't worry. All right, so we're gonna start by hammering 1 to 3 on the low E string. And then you start down, up, down, up. So really 4 times, I guess, after you get there. So you do the hammer. And then this right here is what most people miss. And it's actually not, it's more of a percussive hit, but it's on the open low E string. And you can hear it, if you slow it down, I promise it's there. It's not even in key, but it's made as kind of a percussive hit, and he's doing it on the open E as he goes to this B flat chord. So it's a very heavily palm muted percussive hit on the low open E string, right before he plays this power chord at the 1st fret of the A string. So like this. So up to speed, it makes it boom. It gives it that little percussive effect right before this chord. All right, so it's not really the note, even though the note's not that in key, tuned with the key of the music. It's the percussive sound that it makes. All right, and then the second time through. All right, so we start with that same. So we start with that little hammer on, and then you just play that 3rd fret on the low E string twice after that hammer on. And then you're gonna do that hammer on from 1 to 3 on the A. And then after you do that hammer on, hit that note a couple times, let it ring for just a second. And then it goes 2, 3, 4, 5. So like this. All right, so that's the main riff, and you're going to hear that repeated, and then you're going to hear an overdub of a higher part, which he'll do a little bit live. He kind of plays it like I did in the intro of the video. He'll kind of go into those higher overdubs towards the end of the riff. So we have this. Repeat. All right, so this after 2 times of playing that, remember it's really staccato going up there. We have this. So that's it. That's hammering 3 to 5 on the D. Pick that 5 a couple times, then pull off 5 to 3, over to 5 on the A. And then that power chord there at the B flat power chord that we played before. And then it goes back into the normal version of the riff, like the second half. So far we have this. All right, and now the last time playing through the riff, remember there's a lower overdub that's going to keep doing what I was just doing. We have this. Well, that one plays the higher one. So we have this. So that's the same as what we just played a second ago. But from here, we're going to play the 3rd fret and slide up to the 5th on the A, and then hammer between those two notes. That's what it is. And then we're going to basically do this same riff we did here, but we're going to start it here at the 3rd fret on the D string. Just an octave up. And then if you're playing the high part only, you just resolve it with that 5th fret on the D, or you might want to just, since you'll probably be the only guitarist, play the power chord, the G power chord there. So all together for that intro, a little bit slower. All right, and then we have, out of that, we have the first verse, which has 0 guitar in it. That's pretty easy to play. Anybody can play that. All right, so, and then we get to the chorus, which is very short. It's just this. Stone cold crazy, yo. And back to the riff. All right, so that's just a C major chord. So 3rd fret there on the A, 5th fret across the D, G, and the B. And then what you're going to do is leave that C there, just kind of do a bar across the 3rd fret. And so you're hitting that, and then back to the C chord. So cold, crazy. All right, now coming out of that chorus, we have kind of the main riff again that leads us into the solo. There's a little key change too as well. So what I'll do is just play all the way up until the solo starts. So it looks like this. All right, so it's the same riff as before, just done twice. It's a fun riff to play. But after that second time through of getting up to the, you jump up here and go 5 on the D, 7, 8, 9. And then that takes us into the first solo. So the first solo sounds like this. All right, so this solo starts with this first phrase. All right, so we're gonna do that bend at the 10th fret on the B string with a little bit of vibrato on it. Pick it and release over to 7 on the D. And then play 10, 9, 7 on the G string. Over to 9 on the D string. Then play 9, 7 on the G again, over to 9 on the D. Pretty sure that's what it is. All right, from there we have this. So that's going to be 7 to 9 on the A, And then 7 on the D, back to 9 on the A twice. So this. And then 7, 5 on the A twice. So this. So then when you come back up, you go that 9, 7, 9, over to 9 on the D, and back to that 9 on the A string, so real slow. Then you're gonna jump over to the G string and play 9, 7 on the G. Over to the 9th fret on the D string, and then we have that little descending that ends it. So we have 9, 7 on the D, 9, 7 on the A, 5 down on the A, over to 7 on the low E. All right, and then that gets us back to the main riff again. So the main riff, same thing as before, nothing new there. And then we have this second verse, which once again doesn't really have much guitar in it, except there's a couple, some muted strum. So, and then in the middle of it, you'll hear him hit a C triad, just, you know, out of nowhere. And that C triad is just a bar across the B, G, and the D string at the 5th fret. And then going right before it goes into the chorus, you're gonna hear that same thing, but it makes it a B chord, B flat triad by just moving back 2 frets. And then it goes into the regular chorus. So cold, crazy, yeah. And then we have a key change, and then the second solo come in. So the key change itself is just, once again, I've seen him play this up here. But it makes more sense to play it down here when you're going into the solo. So I'm just gonna play it down here. So it's that same chord we did before here, just at the 1st fret. And then up to the 5th, up to the 2nd. And then we do that little move we did in the chorus. Just lifted up the bar. So you just bar on just the 2nd fret there, and then back. All right, and then we get to the second guitar solo, which is pretty insane. It's got a lot of layers going on, a lot of delay, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna kind of do the main section of what's going on throughout each time, and some of it's gonna be a little bit improvised, but we'll take care of the main licks here. But like I said, there's a lot of guitar tracks going on here, so you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do. All right, so it looks like this. So that's an approximation of what's going on. You're not going to be able to get it exactly like it, but he does do that little ascending lick live, so I kind of thought that was important to get in there. But a lot of the B minor pentatonic doesn't really matter if you get it exactly like it. So let's start here though with this those little key change that we had there, and we have this. That's hammering 0-2 on the low E, and then the open A hammering on the 2, up to 5, up to 9, and then hammer, real quick little hammer 7 and 9 on the D. And then we had this little melody right before the chaos begins. So that's just a bend there at the 9th fret on the G, and then play 9, 7. Then here, a lot of overdubs and delays kick in, and we have this. So what I like to do there is kind of what you just saw. Just kind of, really starting with that bend at the 10th fret on the B string, and just kind of mess around for like a bar there, and then do the bend at the high E string 10th fret. So I'm not trying to get anything, just kind of messing around with the B minor pentatonic. So. And that's kind of a little melody that you hear in there, which is that 9 on the G, little bend, and play 9, 7, and then 9, 7 on the D. All right, and then it kind of starts going over, and this is when that lick comes in there. All right, so that's a chromatic thing that he's doing. So it starts, he's just pulling off 12 to 10 on the G string, over to 12 on the D. So do that a couple of times. Then move it up 1 fret and do the same lick. And then he plays the note, the 13 on the G string, and lets that, hold that for a second. So we have this. And now from here, we're just going to do the lick 1 time on each fret all the way up. Up to where you get to about the 20th fret there. And then he does the bend at the 20th fret on the B string. Kind of to end it. So. All right, so fun stuff. Fun had by all. All right, so out of that, though, we're going to have just the main riff again. So we've seen that already. And then the third verse, once again, not really any guitar in that, except you're going to hear towards the very end of the chorus, you're going to hear a G major triad played there. So that's just the... If you listen for it, it's there. So we have 5th fret on the D, 4 on the G, and 3 on the B. Play that, and then back to the chorus. Same chorus as before. And then at the very end of the song, they just end it with like a G power chord. Sounds great. All right, so it is a very, it can be kind of challenging because it's a very fast song. It is. It's literally 1974, and it's thrash metal. It's cool. It's really catchy too. The vocals are amazing and just work perfect, and the guitar riffs are just like instant classic, man. They're a lot of fun to play. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for guitarlessons365.com.